My whole family is telling me to forgive my father, and last week I found out he'd secretly paid for most of my wedding. He left when I was 11, moved in with a woman named Sherry who had 2 kids already, and for a while he still showed up. Saturdays, mostly. My sister and I would sit on the porch with our shoes on waiting. Then Sherry had their son, and the Saturdays turned into every other Saturday, then into phone calls, then into nothing much at all. He missed my 8th grade graduation. He was always in the middle of something at the house. When I was 15, Sherry got transferred 4 states away, and he went with her. My sister and I asked him not to go. I still remember exactly what he said, because I've turned it over about 1,000 times since. I have to put my household first. I understood him perfectly. We weren't his household. I stopped talking to him that year and I never started again. My sister kept in touch. I didn't. He tried for a while, then he tried through other people. Aunts, my grandmother, an old family friend who cornered me at a funeral to tell me life is short. I didn't invite him to my high school graduation, my college graduation, or my 30th birthday. I skipped Thanksgiving for 11 years. I'm 34 now and I'm supposed to get married in October. 6 months ago he moved back into the same town, 10 minutes from my mother, and the pressure went nuclear. My half-brothers messaged me about what a great dad he is. Sherry called me bitter and said I needed help. My sister said he changed. My grandmother cried on the phone. Cousins I hadn't spoken to in years texted me paragraphs about how forgiveness is for the person doing the forgiving. Then it got to Nora. My fiancé started softening on it about 2 months ago. Little things, maybe one dinner, maybe just the ceremony, not the reception. He's older now. He's not the same man. Last Tuesday, I asked her straight out why she kept pushing. She told me she'd been talking to him for months, that she'd heard his side, and that he cried, and that he was heartbroken over what he'd lost. She said I was punishing a man for a decision he made when I was a teenager. Then she said the thing I can't unhear. Everybody in your life can't be wrong. At some point, you have to look at the common denominator. I asked her why she couldn't just be on my side. She said she loved me, but she wasn't gonna marry a man who was that cold. I told her not to marry one then, and I left. That's when I started actually looking. Nora's mother has been in the same church group as Sherry since March. The 2 of them had lunch 4 times. There are photos. But the part that took the floor out from under me was the money. He paid for the reception hall. He paid for the band, the flowers, and the deposit on the cabin in Gatlinburg for the honeymoon. Nora told me her parents covered all of it as their gift. Every bit of that was his card. He thought he could buy a seat at my wedding, buy a table in the front row, buy his way back in through a woman I trusted. I spent all of Thursday on the phone. I called every vendor we'd booked. I told them plainly that someone had paid for services in my name without my knowledge or consent, and asked them to refund that card in full and either cancel or move the contract to me. Almost all of them were decent about it. The hall manager refunded him that afternoon and let me keep my date on a payment plan. The florist said she'd seen this before and it never ends well. The band leader knocked $400 off. The travel agency reversed the cabin the same day. By 5 o'clock, my father had $0 in my wedding and 0 control over any part of it. Then I made one more call. Nora's mother. I was calm, almost polite. I'm calling to let you know the wedding is postponed indefinitely. Your daughter and my father have been lying to me for months. I'm not starting a marriage on that. You can tell them both. She started in about how I was being dramatic, how he only wanted to help. I said I wasn't going to discuss it, and I hung up. Nora came to my mother's house that night and banged on the door for 20 minutes. My mother looked at me and I shook my head, and she told her to go home. My phone didn't stop until almost 2 in the morning. Nora, her mother, her sister, 3 of my cousins, overreacting, throwing away my future over pride. Then this morning, nothing. Complete silence. I think it finally landed that I meant it. My sister called it noon. She didn't lecture me. She said, I didn't understand before. I'm sorry. That's the first apology I've gotten from anyone in 23 years. I don't know what happens with Nora. I still love her. I just don't believe her anymore.